All right, so day 2, part B of contact artillery. Slightly different here, guys. Rather than going back-to-back supersets, we're going back-to-back-to-back giant sets to get us started, okay? So we're focusing on upper body push movements to get you more explosive. All right, so these 3 movements that I've programmed into the giant sets are really useful for you to develop your strength and force production when trying to move anything in front of you on the rugby field, whether you're palming off or pushing out of rucks, or whether you're in the ring and obviously trying to develop some explosivity when striking and hitting. The first movement is a banded push-up, okay? So essentially, we're gonna get on the floor, get a band on us, and just push those out for 6 to 8 reps. If you can do more than 8, I would recommend getting a thicker band, something with a bit heavier resistance, okay? If you've got dumbbells, kettlebells, or a barbell, you could switch these obviously for either a chest press or a bench press. But these are designed for you guys to be working at home. So if you can get more than 8 out of these banded push-ups, get a thicker band. Remember to drop all the way to the floor here. It's about depth as much as about height, okay? The lower down you can get, try and kiss the floor with your chest and then push up, lock out at the top, keep your core tight and your butt down. Try and stabilize yourself by narrowing your feet. That'll make it a little bit harder, kind of working off of 3 bases rather than 4. Okay, the next movement is a plyometric push-up. So we're looking for explosivity, really fast reactive power here. You want to drop all the way to the floor, again, keeping your core engaged, keeping your butt down, keeping your backside mechanics nice and straight, and then push off the floor as hard as you can. You should hopefully be able to get a little bit of height with this, but if you can't, if you're not quite strong enough to explode off the floor, focus on getting the depth and focus on pushing up as quickly and as explosively as you possibly can, okay? With these guys, I do not want you to reach this by dropping to your knees. If you do push-ups, then I want you to be doing these off of a slightly higher platform. Maybe you've got a box or a footstool, something not higher than but do not drop to your knees. Okay, you've done your 6 to 8 plyometric push-ups. Now it's time to get a little bit more technical with these archer push-ups, okay? Here, I'm gonna set my feet probably outside of hip width for a little bit of stability, because you can see I'm gonna have to stretch over to my left side, so my right arm is now dead straight, and I'm going to sink my body weight onto my left side, again looking for depth. Try and get as close to the floor as you can, and then push up on that left side. Come back to neutral, shift your weight into the center, and now I'm going to straighten my left arm, drop my body weight over my right arm, lower to the floor, nice and controlled, stiff core, and then push right arm back to center, and then shift the weight over to the left side, back and forth, okay? As if you're shooting a bow and arrow, gets its name from, the archer push-up. You just want to be doing 3 of these, okay? So I'm essentially gonna go through 3 sets, left and right, get up, take a breather, 3 sets left and right, take a breather, 3 sets left and right, simple. If you can't do these guys, have a look at this lizard press movement. I've got a kettlebell here, basically to raise my offside arm, which would, with the archer push-ups, be the straight arm, and I'm gonna 3 reps, and then I'll switch the kettlebell, or if you've got a med ball or a bench, something about 12 inches off the floor, switch it to the other side and pump out my reps on the right hand there.
Okay guys, so this next movement is an isometric hold, okay? You need to create enough tension in your resistance bands to where you're not able to fully press your arms out in front of you, all right? Remember to keep your grip close, so in the tricep press position, and to really drive into the bands, or if you've got a bar, driving it into the pins as hard as you can for up to 5 seconds, okay? This is a great movement for increasing maximal strength in the bottom of the press, excellent for increasing your power in rucks and tackles for field sports like rugby, or for increasing your striking or grappling power at close quarters for boxing and jiu-jitsu.
Okay, so we're getting into the 3rd portion of this section of the workout. We're going back to our hypertrophy sets, so we're looking for nice, fluid, not too high speed, but low speed movements. We're getting into hip thrusters. Okay, you should hopefully have access to either a box, a footstool. You can set yourself up in that kind of 90-degree position from the floor, and then you're just going to push, get your hips up skywards, squeeze your glutes together, and try and sit the weight in through your heels, okay? For me, what I usually like to do is lift my toes for this, so that my heels are the kind of pivot point on the floor there. You can see I'm then breaking at the hips, drop my butt just to the floor until it kind of touches the floor, and straight back up. Don't allow yourself to sit in the bottom, keep the weight on your heels. If you've got a kettlebell and you feel comfortable putting that on your kind of hip section on your groin, that's great, or a plate is good if you're in a gym. A flat plate will add a little bit of weight. Similarly, you could anchor a band over your hips, as I'm trying to show you here in this video, but it can be quite difficult to do. All right, you've done your 12 to 15 hip thrusters, nice controlled and solid pace, and then you're getting straight into these suspension knee tucks. A suspension trainer for this, or Olympic rings like I've got here. If you don't have that, you could maybe use a resistance band to hook your feet into, and if you don't have that, then you can just go for higher reps with the mounting. Okay, so you can get yourself braced on the floor, pushing through the floor with the palms of your hands and sprinting up high, straight up as high as you possibly can, nice and narrow up to the sternum, then all the way back down. I would go for 3 times the reps if you're just doing mountain climbers, so up to 36. If you've got a suspension, or you're able to figure out the resistance bands to keep your feet off the floor, stick with the 10 to 12 reps.